Hey, what's up guys, Will here for GSM Arena. Samsung has released plenty of mid-range phones throughout 2019, but if you're into great battery life, you might look no further than the Galaxy M30s. Besides this 6,000 mAh battery, what else does it have to offer? Let's find out in our full review. The M30s actually promises a significant upgrade over the previous model, the M30. The overall design and display are the same, but here you get a new chipset, a higher res camera, and of course a larger battery, which brings the M30s up to the level of the Galaxy A series. Like on many other mid-range phones, you also get a catchy paint job. Ours is in sapphire blue, and it looks good. It is a plastic panel, not glass, which was probably done for budget reasons. Well, there is a bit of glass over the camera module, and it's pretty much flush with the back panel, so the phone won't wobble on a table. With this rounded and seamless edges, the build feels comfortable. The M30s is surprisingly elegant, despite its large 6,000 mAh battery, and it isn't too heavy either. The screen is the same as what you'd get on many other Samsung mid-rangers this year. It's a tall 6.4-inch AMOLED display, with a 1080p resolution and a small notch at the top. The quality is excellent, with that great contrast you'd expect from an AMOLED, good sharpness, and competitive brightness. We measured 440 nits at maximum with the brightness slider, and a boost up to 640 nits in auto mode when out in the sun. Colors can also be quite accurate, depending on your color settings. While the phone is sleeping, you get an always-on display, with the time and icons for notifications. One thing we didn't like is the rear-mounted fingerprint scanner. It's one of the slower ones around. It feels like it reads you pretty fast, but the screen takes some time to actually light up. Also, the single bottom firing loudspeaker is alright, but nothing to write home about. Loudness is good, but the lows sound muddy, and the highs come out a bit harsh. The M30s has a 3.5mm jack for headphones, and quality here is decent. Loudness is above average, and though there's some distortion, it's not too bad. You have a choice between 64 or 128 gigs of onboard storage on the M30s, and in case you need more, it is expandable through microSD. The M30s's user interface is Samsung's One UI over Android 9 Pie. Let's go over some of its main features. Samsung's gesture-based navigation setup uses vertical, not horizontal swipes. It's easy to use once you get the hang of it, although you can use on-screen navigation keys as well. One-handed use is quite comfortable, as most of the interface is designed to be in reach of your thumb. And One UI has a system-wide dark mode, which should actually help a little bit with power saving thanks to the AMOLED screen. One of the upgrades the M30s brings is the new Exynos 9611 chipset. It's built on a 10nm process and offers better power efficiency and performance than the Exynos 7904 in the previous model, but the performance on the M30 wasn't too great to begin with. In benchmarks, the M30s does a decent job, on par with or even better than the Galaxy A50. However, there are more powerful alternatives in this price range, and this isn't a chip for heavy gaming. In some titles I tried, I got some stutters and hiccups. Now on to the battery life, which as you would expect is amazing. The 6,000 mAh battery should easily be enough to last you through a couple of days of use. In our proprietary battery tests, the M30s received a score of 130 hours. This is among the best we've ever seen. Unfortunately, we can't say the same for the charging speed. The provided 15-watt charger was only able to bring the battery from 0 to 21% in half an hour, an unfortunate mix of slow charging and large battery capacity. The M30s brings a new camera setup, consisting of a 48-megapixel quad-Bayer main cam, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide cam, and a depth sensor for portraits. In daylight, the 12-megapixel photos produced by the quad-Bayer sensor are excellent, with great sharpness, impressive dynamic range, and punchy colors. The photos are much better than what other Samsung mid-rangers of the past year, like the A50 and the A70, have been able to offer. The ultra-wide camera isn't as impressive, and the shots come out a bit soft, but it still gets the job done, and the processing looks quite good, similar to the main cams. Portrait shots with the main camera are quite nice. If there's enough lighting, you can get a good level of detail and a natural-looking skin tone, and background separation is decent. Dynamic range does leave a bit more to be desired though. When the light goes down, the main camera's good performance continues. Colors are punchy, and exposure is even. Highlights and light sources are handled pretty well too, almost like there's an always-on HDR. Of course, there is some softness and visible noise, but it's quite alright for this price. There is a night mode, but it doesn't do much. Noise is reduced, but there's no other benefits in the highlights or shadows, and you get a softer, cropped image. It takes a few seconds to capture too, so better stick to the regular photo mode. In contrast to the main cam, shots with the ultra-wide camera at night are poor in quality, with dull colors, plenty of noise, and narrow dynamic range. These are quite soft as well. There's no HDR processing or night mode here. Selfies come out in 16 megapixels, and they're just okay. You get a decent amount of detail and dynamic range is good, but sharpness is not stellar. Videos can be recorded in up to 4K at 30 FPS with the main camera. This footage looks pretty nice, with punchy colors, good contrast, low noise, and wide dynamic range. If you switch to the ultra-wide cam, the results aren't so great. The footage here is in 1080p and it's super soft, with narrow dynamic range. At least thanks to the ultra-wide cam, you get super steady video stabilization, which works well. So that's the Galaxy M30s. You get a phone with an excellent AMOLED display, good camera performance, and the best battery life that we've seen from Samsung. It only costs €250, making it a better deal than the Galaxy A50, and the price is even lower in India, on par with the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Of course, it's not perfect. Charging up this big battery takes forever. Gamers may not be satisfied with the chipset, even though it does do a great job with everyday tasks, and that slow fingerprint reader can get annoying. But even so, the Galaxy M30s delivers some great value. It's a clear upgrade over Samsung's earlier mid-ranges from this year, like the Galaxy A50 and the M30, and definitely deserves a recommendation. It's only available through Amazon for now, but we hope to see it in brick-and-mortar stores in the future. Thanks for watching guys, and see you on the next one.